And welcome back to Who Would Win. Today's actual Who Would Win comes to us from Buster Wolf, who asked the question, who win a fight? Night Thrasher from Marvel, a character I've actually never even heard of, and I know a lot of Marvel characters, versus Batman. They're both vigilantes, but one's different than the other, obviously. Obviously, we know Bruce Wayne. We know Batman. Do I have to really go over everything? Let's go over it real quick. Genius level intellect, peak human condition, master of all martial art. Like, he's mastered every martial art, like 127 martial arts or something like that. God knows how many gadgets thanks to his massive amount of wealth he has, including his batarang, shock gloves, plastic explosives, smoke bombs. His body armor can deflect small caliber bullets, stop knives usually. It's electric proof as well. His cape can even be used as a glider and a weapon. He has numerous backup plans. Arguably he could go into like a bigger bat suit, like a bigger bat suit. You know what I mean, like a bat neck, more or less. Look, I could go on, but we all know Batman at this point. It's not really difficult. If there's something that I specifically need to mention, I will do that. So yeah, we have Night Thrasher, whose real name is Dwayne Michael Taylor. Now, I don't have a lot. I mean, I got a whole list, but I'm not going to go over the whole damn thing. He was son of basically, his father was a member of a military unit fighting in the Sincon War, which discovered the secret temple of the Dragon's Breath. At the temple, a sorceress named Ty and her daughters. At the temple, a sorceress named Ty and her daughters, and give her their mystical. What? The sentence structure makes no sense, guys, for the people who designed this wiki. At the temple, a sorceress named Ty of her daughters. Named Ty of her daughters. What the hell? And gave her their mystical Ty of her daughters gave her their mystical power offspring to use for her own affairs. What the hell is that sentence? I don't know what they're trying to say. I think there was something they met. I think what they're trying to say, they met a sorceress named Ty, gave her their mystical powered offspring to use for her own purposes. Basically, their dog. Okay, interesting. Anyway, Daryl's his dad refused to participate in the pact because he already had a wife back home. Daryl's unit and others admitted to the pact. However, Ty sought revenge against Daryl years later. She mentally forced Cord to murder Daryl and Molly. Anyway, this guy became a vigilante. That's really all you need to know. So basically, does he have any powers? He doesn't have any confirmed powers, but it's believed he does have some powerful mental barriers. And minor psionic protection. Not anything serious, though, but still. In terms of where he actually counts, he's actually quite an intelligent dude. Computer literacy, he possesses proficient computer tapping, software coding, security setup, and hacking. He's got telepathic resistance. He's a skilled acrobat and gymnast. He's a weapons designer, has a talent for developing armor and his weapons, and often dabbles in any new ideas as possible. He's also a mastered martial artist, an extremely skilled hand-to-hand combatant, trained in many military martial arts, including unspecified Japanese martial art. That's interesting. Athletic prowess and fighting abilities are on par in excellence, and he has been able to hold his own against the Punisher, who in and of himself would be a fairly sizable fight for Batman. I fully believe Batman would beat the Punisher in a fight, no doubt about it. But still, the Punisher is no joke in terms of combat. He's had many different armors over his history, but the last armor he had, his last suit, was just as durable, offering as much protection as the previous armors. It was just not as bulky as everyone, looked more like spandex. He had many different items hidden in the armor, including jet boots and a hidden harness containing a number of miniature firearms, projectiles, and long-range weaponry. His other suits were capable of standing up to basically any small arms fire would just bounce off it. The costume cannot be penetrated by bullets from conventional firearms or knives, and is fireproof. It was also composed of a water-thin LED casing that allowed the suit to camouflage within its surroundings. That's actually pretty cool. The helmet contained goggles integrated with infrared sighting, telescopic lens, magnetic or resonance scanning, and camera attachment. The helmet also included a breathing apparatus, voice scrambler, two-way radio communication, parable sound enhancer, and cybernetic link to his armor systems. He also added grappling lines into it. He had a utility belt that had plastiques, napalm gel, cordite packs, magnesium flares, smoke capsules, incendiary packs, caltrap spurs, ball bearing and ball bearings in it. The backpack also contained a glider chute. Interesting. His main weapons seem to be skirma sticks, gauntlets that could fire pepper spray, sleeping gas, explode or explosively launch the metal skirma sticks, emergency micro Uzi machine gun, various explosives, spur jackets to blow out tires, napalm gel, smoke capsules. Oh, he just went out of these. Magnesium flares, incendiary packs, ball bearings to trip foes, a large hammer, laser sword, and an armored skateboard that can be used as a weapon or a shield. He also has a high-tech armored fiberglass skateboard, private helicopters, jets, and motorcycles. So first off, I would like to say that I do like this guy's design. It's a pretty basic design for like a vigilante, but it's still a cool design nonetheless. But that said, who will win a fight between these guys? Both these guys have God knows how much tech, although this guy, Night Thrasher, is willing to use firearms, which is something Batman, except from his early years, did not do. Damn. Something got that tickle right in the throat. Or got that thing caught right in the throat. Batman, I will say this, Batman is almost certainly the better fighter of the two, no doubt about that. He's probably the more intelligent one. In fact, that's not even a given. He's probably the more intelligent one. I think this, so skill-wise, Batman's got the edge. Experience-wise, he's also probably got the edge. But in terms of like their actual tech, this guy actually can kind of go toe-to-toe with Batman in terms of tech. So this is a wild card option when it comes to how their tech interacts. They have a lot of the same stuff, a couple of different things as well. Batman also has access to a couple of things that he does, like a kryptonite ring that wouldn't matter here, but still. I think it'll come down to this. They're doing the vigilante shit. They end up coming across each other. They interact. Honestly, this could very well be a scenario where these characters didn't fight, but to have a fight happen, we need to have it happen. That sentence made no sense. But in order for this video to work, fight needs to happen. There's a misunderstanding, and these two fight. So Batman would maybe try like throwing a batarang. He maybe blocks it with a skirmish stick, or throws a blade, or maybe shoots it, whatever. Batman then comes in, and I think Batman physically is the superior of the two. Like I said, I think he's the more powerful individual. He's the better fighter, and he's the smarter, and probably has more experience. And the more I say this, the more it kind of leans towards that Batman win. Batman and him, though, would be having a pretty solid fight. Like, these guys would not go down easy. Like I said, Punisher is a character that I think could give Batman a good, solid fight. I think Batman's the better fighter, but Punisher would still be a worthy opponent. And if this guy can go toe-to-toe with the Punisher, then he can go toe-to-toe with Batman for a while. The fact that he's also willing to use firearms, all that, is definitely going to put Batman on his toes a little bit. But Batman's suit is also bulletproof is the problem. So at least most like small arm fire, like high caliber weapons is a different story. But like an Uzi or submachine gun, a mini submachine gun, yeah, that caliber bullet probably will just bounce off of Batman's armor. Granted, he doesn't want to be hit by a bullet if he can help it. And Batman's dodged point blank bullets before. So he probably gets the gun out of his hand. They will be duking it out back and forth for a while until eventually Batman's strategy is basically smoke bomb. Hit him again, probably put explosive gel on Suit, blast him. Suit can take it, but he's still feeling the shock of it. Batman comes in and basically either gets him in a lock or just knocks him out in some way. I think this guy is closer to I'm trying to think of a vigilante he's probably closer to in terms of style. He is probably because he sounds like he's a bit of a discount Batman a little bit, and not in a bad way. A lot of these vigilantes are kind of like compared to Batman. Like Moonlight is kind of like compared to Batman to some degree. But yeah, he just doesn't strike me as someone who would be Batman in a fight, but would be a good adversary for Batman to fight. Definitely, like I could see a crossover comic and them duking it out and then teaming up. That'd be fun. I think Batman, though, is just the overall more rounded individual in this scenario. There we go. And we're just going to move you up here, and that way I can do this and make this a little bigger. And now everyone seems a bit more equal. Yeah, that'd be my luck if that's the way that looked. But yeah, I would probably go Batman in this fight. He seems to have the more complete package as a vigilante than this guy does. And not to say this guy has that sentence was about to come out bad. Not to say this guy has a bad package, but not to say this guy's bad or unskilled at all. It's just he's going up against Batman. And without trying to wank Batman is hard to do. When you don't have superpowers, doing a versus against Batman is pretty hard to see how it's in the other person's favor half the time. So yeah, and I don't really see, except for the fact he's got a couple weapons Batman doesn't. And even in these skirmish sticks, Nightwing has those. Batman's used to fighting against someone with that. He's fought against Nightwing several times. So that wouldn't be anything new to him. A lot of this, that's the other problem. A lot of this stuff wouldn't be new to Batman. Batman's seen it before. So he'd probably have like contingencies in his head to deal with such things. I don't know. This is just my thoughts. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you folks next time. Have a good one.